you take this woman as your lawful wedded wife?
Ooh, yeah!
Oh,
Place the ring on her finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
everyone, and welcome to With This Ring. I'm your co-host, Ryan Everett.
I'm your co-host, Cindy Everett.
And this is episode 43.
Ooh.
We'll be looking at Unforgiven 1998.
Yep.
The first pay-per-view after the big WrestleMania.
And how much time passed between WrestleMania and this this?
It was 4 weeks.
Okay.
That's pretty much the standard. Usually, every once in a while, it's quicker on one.
So what do they do between the pay-per-views? Do they continue the story and the weeklies?
Yeah.
Okay.
On Raw, each week there was something big happening.
Like at the next episode?
Yeah, very much. Especially with the Austin McMahon feud.
Yeah. I'm sure their ratings just like shoot up.
Yeah, well, the Raw where it was Austin versus McMahon was like the hook for the whole show. That was the first time that Raw actually beat Nitro in the ratings in over 2 years.
Gotcha.
So that was like
they're
back.
That as far,
yeah. And then the next couple of weeks they kind of would trade back and forth who got the ratings because Raw was still taped every other week at this point.
Oh.
So Nitro would kind of have like their bigger nights when Raw was taped, and Raw when it was live was kind of
more of the draw.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't realize it wasn't live the whole time.
Right. Yeah. Cost cutting.
Yeah. No.
Measures.
I get that. Learn something new every day.
Yep.
All right.
So yeah. So this was, like we said, 4 weeks after WrestleMania, and they had gone. Shawn Michaels.
Oh, we watched. Sorry to kind of cut back in time. My first note is about 2 weeks after Raw.
Right.
Is that what you're going to talk about?
Kind of, just like Shawn Michaels is gone and like not even mentioned. So, and the new heel is actually Vince McMahon.
Works well.
And he's just trying to get the title off of Steve Austin somehow. And the first guy to kind of step up is Dude Love.
Yeah, but before that, we watched the Raw 2 weeks after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then this is like, oh, what if I move with one hand tied behind your back? And yeah. Oh, that's like Dude Love comes out and kind of attacks, spins, just kind of ends, kind of peters out.
Yeah, kind of. Well, because they're not going to do that match this early.
Oh, that's true. So is this a way just to like get Dude Love into the story, or?
It was just kind of anyone was if they wanted it to be Dude Love because he'd have a good match, but it could have been like a lot of different heels. Just whoever it was had to be like. Be handpicked by Vince McMahon, kind of.
Got it. Well, and I feel like he didn't really have like an ongoing. Him and Chainsaw Charlie kind of.
Yeah, they had ended after.
So Terry Funk. What happened to Terry Funk? Just kind of get bored and go back to his ranch.
He actually sticks around for a little while, like wrestling on underneath matches.
Okay. So yeah, I guess they wanted something for him to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the show starts, and it is. The Nation of Domination.
Minus
Faarooq, of course, yes. Against their former leader, Faarooq, and 2 constant thorns in their sides, Ken Shamrock and Steve Blackman.
Steve Blackman's like Mark Marrow. They kind of look the same, right?
Kind of.
I mean, they're both like white guys with brown hair.
Well, WCW made everyone think Mark Marrow was a black guy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well.
And I always kind of thought that because of that.
Well, we don't need to go into that. I'm looking up Steve Blackman.
Steve Blackman, though, he's got like the square haircut,
yeah.
the this karate pants.
Yeah, they're both martial arts. Well, I guess he's martial arts and Mike Marrow with boxing.
Yeah.
They both are like borrowing from other sports that are not wrestling.
That's true.
Why I'm confused.
Yep, I'll give you that.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Steve Blackman was also a former bail bondsman.
Oh.
According to this Wikipedia blurb that just came up. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay, now I have a right to could get them confused. All right. Anyways, the crowd is just really going after The Rock.
Yeah,
time. He's not having respect from them yet.
Yeah, he is definitely getting the most heat in this match, and then
Easily.
Faarooq is able to get the win though, so that kind of continues that feud.
Oh yeah, the crowd loves it. Yeah, the Faarooq was kind of whipping D'Lo Brown.
Yeah.
It's not great. Oh, and Mark Henry, like he was pretty young here, but
He
he's
is
pretty agile for a 400-pounder.
Yeah, he is. He does move pretty well at this point. He would have injuries off and on for a lot of his career, so it kind of slows him down. But yeah, Harry's pretty good.
Well, no, I thought this was pretty good. Yeah, Faarooq pins the Rock, and the crowd is very much here for that.
Yes.
So it was good.
And then after that, before our next match, Steve Austin comes out and just decides to threaten the timekeeper.
Right.
Because he doesn't want what happened with Bret Hart.
I was just going to say, yeah, this is right after Montreal.
Right, so they're kind of playing that up.
Oh,
saying this
kind of?
Yeah, saying this is the first time Vince McMahon has been ringside for a title match since that particular title match.
What could be happening?
Exactly. So Steve Austin promises that he'll kill the timekeeper if
pretty much
he rings the bell.
Who's they got like the most like smarmy looking.
Yeah. Well, that is the guy who did do it all the time.
Acting.
Yeah, he was acting even like.
Yeah, deferential. Yeah. Oh, the next match was the one I was thinking about. In terms of number, but they should have saw a lot of the clip shows too. Like bending the bars. So yeah, logically, because when China was handcuffed to Sergeant Slaughter,
She still interfered.
So clearly they have to put her in a cage and suspend her above the ring.
Of course, it's the only fair way.
Yeah,
to do it.
Shocker, she got out. Like I think it was just waiting. Well, once again, they couldn't really focus on the match. They kept cutting to her.
They kept cutting to her.
Cage, so
yeah, it's kind of just like the WrestleMania match. It's kind of like they're having a fine match, but it doesn't matter because it's all just filler for what's coming up at the end. And so they just need to do their 10-minute match until.
Like, do they really need to? I mean, is it really that big of a gimmick? Does she really have that big of a role? I guess.
Kind of, but I think it's already pretty well known.
Yeah, like it just seemed a little extra.
Yeah,
I would say today. But yes, shocker. She like bends the bars apart.
Yep.
Which I'm sure they're very well. They made a big deal with the padlock being so secure.
So secure. Yes, she couldn't get that.
She's bent the bars and then hopped out of the ring.
Well, first they have it like lower.
That's right.
A bit, and they show that the Road Dogg had commandeered the controls.
Right, obviously.
And then, due to that interference, Triple H is able to hit a low blow in the pedigree.
Yeah, well, the X-Pac hits.
Oh yeah, X-Pac
runs out and hits Owen Hart. So, what was your reaction to this the first time you saw it? Didn't care.
Yeah, it was kind of like, okay, she's doing that. Yeah. DX at this point, it was kind of like they're in that odd stage where they're still heels, but they're like doing everything for the fans to cheer for them anyways. And Owen Hart was kind of like a weird face at this point because, it's actually building to what happened the next night on Raw.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this was kind of.
That's kind of whatever.
Yeah. It was kind of like both of these guys felt like they should be on to something else at this point. That their feud had kind of run its course.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the next was the Rock and Roll versus the New Midnight Express with a very kind of Jim Cornette's metabolism caught up to him, and he was
quite
rough.
Chubby, and so this was a repeat of like 10 years ago. This match had been in the same building, and it would be much more lively, and the crowd would care. And
this is not so much. Yeah, nobody cared. There was like zero reaction.
Yeah, this is not. Even though this is WCW country, there is.
Oh really?
There are not a lot of WCW fans in this.
Where was this
crowd? Was it? It's in North Carolina, Greensboro.
North Carolina.
Yeah. It was the largest crowd ever at the Greensboro Coliseum.
Ever?
Yeah. Right. Just saying something because like they always had WCW there like every week for years.
Well. But yeah, but these were two old WCW.
Well, the Midnight Express or the Rock and Roll Express were, and then the New Midnight Express were a bad version of the classic Midnight Express.
Gotcha.
So yeah, this is a match just does not. The crowd does not care about.
No, there is no interest whatsoever in this. It wasn't really that good either.
Yeah, it was
fine.
Yeah.
Once again. This whole show was just fine.
Yeah,
honestly.
a lot of it.
I know
So
you mentioned there's gonna be some low points in these pay-per-views.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
Yes, it definitely was.
No way out of Texas.
Oh, it's Texas. Yeah, at least we don't have the Quebecers on this card.
True.
So there is a funny story about it being in Greensboro, though, because shortly before this, Ric Flair had been fired / suspended by WCW because he didn't go to a show that he asked time off for his son was wrestling in a amateur tournament.
Yeah.
So they were going to actually have Ric Flair appear on camera.
Ooh.
But they would have said, we have a great wrestling champion here today, Mr. Reed Flair, and showed him and not like actually introduce by name Ric Flair, just have him standing by as Reed Flair's father.
Nice.
But then they supposedly Flair was like in a limo circling the building, but I guess like at the last second, his lawyers said don't do it.
Yeah,
it might be
more
even
trouble.
though you're supposedly in breach of contract already.
Don't make it worse.
Yeah.
Don't double breach. I don't think breaching contract's like double jeopardy. You can do it multiple ways.
No, once you've done it once, it's it's all open.
I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
So yeah, that didn't happen. But that would have been
amazing.
Quite the moment on this pay-per-view.
Yeah, it would have been a redeeming quality.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. As a 12-year-old, this was the redeeming quality was the next match.
Oh, of course it was.
The ending of this next match.
Yeah. Which was what?
So it's the first ever WWF evening gown match.
Yes, versus Luna and Sable.
Yep.
And the whole point of the match was to tear each other's dresses off.
Yep. Once you got down to their bra and panties, that is when the winner is declared. So yeah, it's kind of like the crowds actually want Luna to win because they want to see Sable.
Oh gosh, yeah, of course, yeah.
And
Jerry Lawler's being gross.
Of course, yes, and they just kind of roll around with each other for 2 minutes, and eventually Mark Miro gets involved. And
so, what was the deal with him and Sable? They were like not like a couple, but they were like a tag team.
Well, they were. It was kind of weird that they never came out and said they were married because they were in real life. They were.
Okay, that's right.
But so it just kind of started. She was his manager, and then as it kept going, the storyline like kind of like hinted that they were romantic, but didn't explicitly say. And then by this point, it was kind of like he said that he had a contract that said she has to be his manager or something like that. To explain why she was still, like he said, if she wasn't with me, she'd be gone from the WWF.
Gotcha.
So.
Gotcha. Does she still have those implants?
I'm not sure if it's the same.
Well, I just feel like they're so big. I think they hurt her back. I think after a while you want to get those taken out.
Yeah, I mean, living on the farm with Brock.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or the horses.
Yeah. Well, it just seems like they were like cartoonishly large.
I have a feeling she probably went down a couple sizes.
Too. Yeah. She
had plenty of room to, lose.
Yeah, so
Mark Miro interferes and distracts her, and Luna rips her clothes off.
And everyone's like, wow.
And Sable's like, ah!
Yeah, but then Luna like rolls into then she like pulls.
Yeah, she's like underneath the ring, and it makes it seem like she pulled all of Luna's clothes off.
Right, and then
Goldust wraps her up in his coat, and they go away.
Yeah, once again, not really gonna be a Hall of Fame match, but it was very
But
nice.
I mean, it was, and Sable was hugely over at the time, and
that's true.
This is, they put her in a contest that she can do good in. So.
Well, yeah, 'cause she has to prance around in her undies. So was Sunny at this show? I don't remember.
She was in the next match, the New Age Outlaws versus LOD 2000.
That's right. And her strange cable man outfit.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be post-apocalyptic.
Oh, okay. Well, after the evening gown match, that's when Vince comes out.
Oh yeah.
Pumps up the crowd, like pisses off the crowd.
Yeah, just kind of promises them that there will be a new champion.
How did they explain that Shawn? Well, never mind. Steve Austin won.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania. So they don't explain away Shawn Michaels.
No, they just pretend like he
went back to his old plan
and got killed.
Yep. Shawn Michaels went back to his old planet and got killed. All right, then it was New Age Outlaws versus Legion of Doom.
Yes. The New Age Outlaws have a Dean Smith blow-up doll
That's
that they come out with.
Yeah. I said Legion and Doom, much better wrestlers. And I think they're more athletic, they're tighter.
Yeah.
Move a lot better. Oh, we don't know. But those guys are New Light.
Yeah, the New Age Outlaws.
That's badass Billy Gunn and
the Road Dogg.
Yes. Yeah. They're okay.
Yeah. LOD does... They kind of were moving better here, but they're still, like, look older and...
Yeah.
Like, time has passed them by. Which is crazy because they're, like, 38 and 40 here, where, like, nowadays that's, like...
Normal.
All the top
Are
performers.
there any, like, wrestlers nowadays that are in their, like, early 20s that are, like, coming up?
Not really the early 20s. Like, I don't know who even, like... Yeah, I think most of them are like 30s.
Yeah.
Like by the time you get
a little bit.
By the time you get up to like the main card.
I remember like when Randy Orton started, he was
he was like 22, and that's why he was able to be around for 20 years. Because nowadays, if you don't start till you're 30, you get to
5,
50.
Years. Yeah, I mean you could.
Yeah.
I wouldn't work out too well for anybody.
No.
So all right.
So yeah, it's eventually they have like a kind of fluky. Both shoulders are on the mat, and then the Outlaws retain the titles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of long with that was a pretty good match. Because the next one was kind of stupid. This whole show's kind of stupid. This is the Inferno match.
Yeah, so this was kind of like...
They were hyping it up.
This is what they were almost selling the pay-per-view on more than even
really?
Austin versus Dude Love, yeah.
I can see that, because this is more like a lot like established feud versus...
Right, and it's,
Austin
the big spectacle of having fire around the ring. And...
Yeah, which just kind of made it weird, because they couldn't like have like a normal quote-unquote match.
Right, yeah, they were... I mean, it was a lot of like chin locks in the middle of the ring while the fire burned, and then...
Right, so they can't really throw people over the rope.
Right.
So they can't do Sound of Music. Or
right.
Do a lot of that
well, they did have them do it once, and like... That's when the flames all jump up.
Was it just like a dial was turning like?
Yep.
Ooh. That made it get.
Ooh, the flames likes the choke slam. Fire.
Oh yeah. I'm sure whoever had that job was having fun. Yeah, pretty much a basic match. So then Vader.
Yeah, then they do get to the outside though,
and
including the Undertaker hitting his dive over the flames.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And then.
But the drum, that's right.
Yeah, Undertaker beats the shit out of Paul Bearer.
That's right. Then they go up and start fighting in the band set.
Yeah.
The Undertaker puts Paul Bearer through the drum. It's pretty good. But the ending was kind of strange because Kane just kind of backed into the flames.
Yeah, he gets booted by the Undertaker and just kind of like puts his arm, which you could tell is like heavily wrapped.
Yeah.
A lot more than usual.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of runs to the back.
Yeah, I mean... This is pretty stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it was... I think the first time they do it, it's something, and then after that, it kind of...
They do this again?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Undertaker versus Kane again.
Oh, yeah.
It's usually Kane or The Undertaker. I think one of them has been in each one.
The Inferno matches?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really care for it.
Yeah.
I think it's been like it's always them again. They probably fight. They've like fought every one we've watched, I think, so far.
Well, they've been involved at least
with
each other, yeah.
Because the WrestleMania was when we caught them on fire, right?
No, that was Royal Rumble.
Oh, Royal Rumble, that's what I meant. What
yeah,
did I say,
WrestleMania was when The Undertaker came back.
I don't know, I'm tired.
Yeah, and they'll be involved with each other quite a bit the rest of the year.
Yeah, all right, good to know.
I mean, you kind of have to be involved with each other.
They really can't fight anybody else?
No, they could, but...
And this is back when The Undertaker was like a fixture.
Yeah.
When did he start becoming just a showing up at WrestleMania type guy?
That was a lot later, like 2009. Okay. Yeah, he was always around. He'd take vacations, but not year-long breaks.
I want to take a vacation. All right.
So then we get to the main event. Mm-hmm. Steve Austin against Dude Love.
Yeah, and this is kind of your normal Steve Austin slam. I mean, this is whenever Mick Foley's involved in the match. You know, he's going to get in all these ridiculous situations.
Right, yeah.
This was no exception. They also end up kind of on this band stage.
Yeah, it kind of starts the Steve Austin main event style match where it's just a brawl.
Yep.
All over the place. You know,
Yep.
not very adherent to countouts or DQs.
Right. Yeah.
Dude Love takes a ridiculous bump off the bandstand.
Yeah, I wrote that. Like,
lands on his concrete and
yeah,
busts the back of his head open.
Yeah, that was rough. Ugh. Yep. Oh, yeah, and then there's a lot of referee drama.
Yes.
And then Steve basically counts himself as the winner. By, like,
Yes,
slapping his hand.
after Vince McMahon is trying to help up
That's right.
Dude Love, and Steve Austin goes to hit Dude Love with the chair, but unfortunately he hits Vince McMahon.
Of course. And then how did the ref get knocked out? Steve Austin too?
I think no, Dude Love like accidentally clotheslined him. It wasn't like malice, but it was enough to keep him out.
Right. More than incidental stuff. Yeah.
And then at the very end, they do. Gerald Briscoe tells Howard Finkel that it was actually a disqualification.
Of course.
And Dude Love is the winner, which will set him up to get future title shots.
Gotcha. But there's no title changeover.
Right. The title can only change hands on pinfall.
I know.
Or,
well, I hear them say that every time. I always listen. And then we watched the
Raw the night after.
Okay.
Yes. And so...
Which was very weirdly military themed.
Well, before that, though, the first thing is it's Ken Shamrock and Owen Hart against the Nation of Domination. And Owen Hart turns on Ken Shamrock and joins the Nation.
Yep.
The Black Separatist.
Obviously, the white Canadian guys joined the Black Separatists. But hey, he did kind of need a home.
Yeah, he needed... So they kind of do sell it over the next few weeks as like he was all by himself after being with his family for so long. He needed a new family, and the Nation...
What's Bret Hart doing these days?
He was in WCW.
That's right, yeah.
So it was kind of like, you know, he needs a family, and he'll take any family that will join him. Also, like, he was sick about being outnumbered by DX, they say. And speaking of DX, they are shown earlier in the day, because they were at the Hampton Coliseum while Nitro was at the Norfolk Scope, and that's like 8 miles away from each other apparently.
That's funny.
So they had DX dress up in fatigues and
like, weird army parallels.
in a Jeep, despite them always saying that they drove a tank onto Nitro. It's not a tank, it's a Jeep.
Really?
Yeah.
Who said they drove a tank onto Nitro?
Like in their retrospectives nowadays.
Gotcha. Well, that's not quite right.
Jeep, tank, same thing.
Yeah. It was an army vehicle. I remember somebody being on the front of like the Jeep.
Yeah, I think X-Pac is like hanging at the front.
That's what I was picturing.
Yeah, so they drive to Nitro, and they were out front of Nitro while it was one of when the NBA playoffs ran, Nitro was shown earlier, usually at like 6:30.
Okay.
So I think it was one of those Nitros, so it was probably like starting earlier as people were getting there, and DX is just like out front.
I think most people like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
Who are those guys?
But then like,
all silly.
and the like things now they say like Eric Bischoff's like, I should have just sent Haku out there to like instead of closing the door, just have that, and if it's on our property, we could film it and show the DX boys getting their ass kicked.
That'd be funny. Oh man.
But it wasn't to be. The WCW decided to just try and ignore it as best they could.
They should have played it back. Yeah, it's probably better for both sides if they would have like played it up. You think?
Yeah, I don't know. I think neither side would have, neither one would have budged.
That's true.
To work together. So
that's true.
But, So and that kind of goes. There's video of that throughout the night, kind of back and forth, and then in the main event, it's going to be Goldust against Steve Austin for the title, and Vince McMahon has his own personal guest referee in Gerald Briscoe.
Yes.
And he blasts Gerald Briscoe with the WWF title, busting him wide open, and Steve Austin gets the win, of course.
Yep.
To continue his reign. Yeah. And Vince McMahon plots what he will possibly do next.
That's right. It's always up to his plotting.
Yep. All right, so now we will go to our ratings.
Okay.
And so I think it's definitely below Royal Rumble and WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think you're looking at this with No Way Out.
Yeah, definitely more on that tier.
Yeah, and I think so. You'll go 6.
I think I'm gonna do 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not really a lot of like standout moments in this one.
I think I'm gonna go with 6 also because I think, like looking at No Way Out, I had that at 6.5, and I think this is a notch below just because. Well, I don't know though. Yeah, I think they're both comparable.
Well, then 6 and 6.5 are pretty comparable.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll make them both 6 if you.
All right. So, what were your top 2 matches here?
Oh gosh, did I even like 2 of these
This
matches?
is
Not the Inferno match, not the Evening Gun match, not the Rock and Roll Express match. Not the okay, so I guess the Nation of Domination Faarooq match and the Steve Austin Dude Love match.
Okay, yeah. So
I'll actually put the Dude Love Steve Austin one first. If
okay, yeah, I thought so.
I mean, like I said, not a lot of pickers in this one. Are you put the Evening Gown match as one of yours?
So Steve Austin. Yeah, I would definitely say that was the best match. And as far as like what got people interested, I am gonna put the Evening Gown match because I think it's definitely the 3rd biggest match on the card, and it was promoted like it was given a lot of airtime leading up to the show.
Was it?
Yeah.
How they promote it?
Like just there'd always be at least a segment about it, and usually Luna would like rip at Sable's clothes and.
Gotcha. Well, there you go.
Yep, I am. None of them are stepping into my favorite match of the year. I'm gonna keep it at the 8-man tag for now.
Okay. Mine's the Royal Rumble, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's agreeable.
That's safely still my favorite.
Yep. And now
those matches really.
Our next voyage will be to 1998.
Well, we're always in 1998.
May 1998, October or May 31st. So this is actually one of the few 5-week builds, and lots of happenings that we will have to catch up on before we get to the event itself.
Okay.
And then it's quite the show from Milwaukee.
Oh, what's it called?
Over the Edge.
Over the Edge. All right. I won't do any googling. I feel like I like to be surprised.
Yeah.
For a 25-year-old.
Yes, for
show.
Yeah, no spoilers, please.
Oh, I won't. Yeah, I'll stay away from all the wrestling websites that I forget.
Yeah. They're post retrospectives.
Well, if anyone's out there besides, I'm sure there are other people out there besides us doing that, but
yes,
I will not seek those out.
All right.
It'll be good.
Yep. All right. Until next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
As she walked by my Cadillac, from the corner of my eye I saw you and you laughed. You were sitting on the swing on your front porch, painting your nails like you were bored, and you yelled she was sure impressed with you. Well, I ain't first class, but I ain't quite trash. I'm wild and a little crazy too. Some girls don't like boys like me. Oh, but some girls do. I yelled and asked if you would like a ride. When we pulled out of your yard, I bawled a tie. You was laughing at me, I was doing James Dean. You was the prettiest girl I'd ever seen. When you rolled your eyes and twirled my pink furred eyes. Well, I ain't first class, but I ain't quite trash. Oh, but some girls do. Well, good old boys don't get no breaks, and rich boys think they got what it takes. But there's someone for each of us, they say. Well, I ain't first class, but I ain't white trash. I'm wild and a little crazy too. Some girls don't like boys like me. Oh, but some girls do. Well, I ain't first class, but I ain't white trash. I'm wild and a little crazy too. Some girls don't like boys like me. Oh, but some girls do. I said some girls do. You know some girls do. Like boys like me. You know some girls do.